Hey there, Chicago Bears fans. Welcome in, welcome in. Merry Christmas. I hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas as it is December 26th at the time of recording this video. We are a couple hours away from Thursday night football kickoff. However, I did a live going over, the typical things that we do on this channel. We did the keys to the game. Um, we did a look at Caleb Williams, and we did a look at the injury report. And in that, in the live, I spoke about Caleb Williams and his rookie career or his rookie stats this year, and if he would be considered to be a bust, or if his rookie season has been wasted. And I would like to do a separate video on that outside of a stream. I just want to put this in a video form, get a little bit more expansive with some of the stats that I was looking at, and really kind of break down my opinion on Caleb Williams and how his season has turned out. So if you see me looking over here, I am just looking at the stats pages and things on my laptop. So I will be kind of, back and forth just a little bit. But we will get into Caleb Williams' stats first, and then we will start looking at his stats comparing to some other quarterbacks around the league, and then one in particular that I think is worth bringing up that is no longer a quarterback in the NFL. But um, Caleb Williams, as up to this point, so this is before the Thursday night game against Seattle, Caleb Williams has a total QBR of 47.6, a completion percentage of 62.2, 3,271 yards, and 19 touchdowns. Now, when we're talking about Bears rookie quarterbacks, he has already surpassed just about every single one of those records. He's got passing yards in a rookie season. He got that months ago. He's got the touchdowns. And I believe he's also got the lowest interceptions. I believe that the lowest by any of them is 11 or 12, and I think it was Mitch Trubisky. If I'm wrong on that, you can correct me because I don't have Trubisky's or Justin Fields' stats pulled up for this comparison. I'm comparing him to his rookie quarterback, and then I'm comparing him to the best Bears quarterback and a NFL quarterback that is in the Hall of Fame. So that is the comparisons that we are making now. um, if you look at just Caleb's stats, you would think that that is a pretty solid rookie season up to this point. The only reason why I feel like a lot of people have a problem with Caleb Williams' stat lines is that you got to look at the win-loss record of the Bears. They're 4-11 after starting 4-2, so they have lost um, nine straight, and really, I think that the problem therein lies with mostly the offensive line. I think that I spoke at this in my live too. That if there was a better offensive line, I don't think that you would see Caleb Williams not struggle, but his stats would definitely be a little bit better. I think he would be closer to that Bears passing record. I think that he might actually be closer to 4,000 yards already if it was for a better offensive line. We all know that when we went into the draft last year, they were looking at plugging a bunch of different holes because they knew they were getting rid of the quarterback. We knew that they were going to draft a wide receiver. They drafted a punter, which we didn't really need, but we drafted him anyways. So we tried to fill a whole bunch of different holes at the same time, right? Well, going into 2025, I think it's fair to say that the Bears are in a much better position now than they were last season because you know where your problems are and you know what you need to fix. You've basically whittled it down to your offensive line, mainly the left side of your offensive line, but the right side could use some help too. Definitely center. And then your interior defensive line. I would be shocked if they fixed the defensive line first. They should go for the offensive line first 100%. But again, this is, talking mostly Caleb Williams here, but I do think that an offensive line has a big part in that. I think if it was a better offensive line, Definitely some better coaching. His stats would definitely look a lot better in his rookie year. I think Luna. Sorry about that. Um, I think that if you have a better offensive line, that helps Caleb Williams look a lot better. I think that he would be looking at being one of the first Bears quarterback to go over 4,000 yards. I think that he would be blowing his rookie class out of the water. But, that is something that unfortunately just has not been the case. So if we compare him to Jayden Daniels has a 71.8 QBR, a 69.7% completion percentage. He has 3,303 yards, 22 touchdowns. So if you look at Caleb Williams, um, that is he's got roughly about 30 more yards than Caleb Williams. He's got 3 more touchdowns. And then if we also look at Bo Nix, he's got a QBR of 53.1, a completion percentage of 64.3, 3,235 yards, and 22 touchdowns. So Caleb Williams has him by about 40 yards, but Bo Nix has Caleb by about 3 touchdowns, just like Jayden Daniels. But if you look at their completion percentages, they're all in the 60s. Jayden Daniels and Bo Nix is in the upper 60s. Well, actually, Bo Nix is right around Caleb Williams. They're at 62.2 and 64. Jayden Daniels is at 69. But if you look at the offensive line that Jayden Daniels and Bo Nix has, it is definitely a lot better than Chicago's situation there. So that helps them out quite a bit. I think that again, if the Bears had a better offensive line, I think that Caleb Williams would be crushing everybody in these categories. I think that he would be pretty much the runaway for the rookie of the year in terms of the rookie drafts. I think that wouldn't even be a discussion. Um, but if we take a look at Caleb Williams compared to Jay Cutler's best year with the Chicago Bears, let's see here. I think I have it in 2009, 2014 here. So he had a completion percentage of 66 flat, 3,812 yards. He had 28 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, and he was sacked 38 times. So if we're looking at Caleb, he's about 600 yards away from being able to either tie or break that record. So if Caleb is able to get a couple of 300-yard games in this last two, it'll be really interesting to see how close he comes to Jay Cutler. He's not quite there with the touchdowns. He's got 19, so he would have to throw 9 in the next 2 games, which I feel like that's pretty unrealistic. But his interception rate is not there at all. He's got 5 interceptions compared to Jay Cutler's, what was it, 18? Uh, yeah, 18. Now Caleb has been sacked a hell of a lot more. I don't have it on this. It's not on this. Let's see here. Will it give me this? Yeah. So he's been sacked 60 times. Obviously, he's the most sacked quarterback ever. At least by a rookie. He might be the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. But the one thing that I would like to point out with that is he's putting up all these numbers with a terrible offensive line, and he's getting sacked a lot. Not all the sacks are on him. A good portion of them are. The other thing that I want to bring up is a lot of people say that he holds on to the ball too long, and my question to that is, does he hold on to the ball too long because he actually just holds on to the ball too long, or does he hold on to the ball too long because the offensive line lets pressure get there so fast that it looks like he's holding on to the ball too long instead of? I mean, there's certainly cases where obviously he should get rid of that ball. He should get rid of it instead of taking the sack. I think that his sack number could easily be half of what it is if he gets rid of the ball. Um, but again, how bad does him holding onto the ball look because of the offensive line, or is it solely because of Caleb Williams? I think it's a pretty even split of both. Obviously, like I said, he could get rid of the ball sooner, but at the same time, the offensive line does not give him hardly any time whatsoever, and that's a big problem. Now, the comparison that I want to make um, is to Peyton Manning. His rookie season, he had 3,739 yards, 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, and 22 sacks. Now, this is why I want to talk about if Caleb Williams' rookie season is considered to be a bust or wasted or anything like that, because we all know that Peyton Manning, he went on to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he is in the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. But again, he's got 28 touchdowns, 20 or he's got 26 touchdowns to 28 interceptions. He's the most intercepted rookie quarterback of all time. If you look at Caleb Williams, he's not going to be anywhere near that. Depending on what happens with these last two games, he's only got 5 interceptions on the entire season. Okay, and he's got 19 touchdowns. Now, obviously, he won't touch that 26 unless he just, for whatever reason, balls out the last two games. I expect him to end up somewhere in the 23 to 24 range, which kind of looks like a pretty on par stat for most rookie quarterbacks, 24, 25 in their rookie season, if it's a good rookie season, which we see Jayden Daniels and Bo Nix both are on pace for. So when you look at all these stats and where Caleb kind of sits right in the mix, he's not in the he's he could be in the upper echelon when it comes to the passing yards. Um, Obviously, he's way down at the bottom when it comes to sacks, but also he doesn't turn the ball over. Like that is a big one. I understand that some of his stats are kind of left to be desired because he tries not to turn over the ball. And if he was willing to kind of put a ball into a maybe type situation, like a 50-50 ball where it could be picked, could not. If he did that a little more often, maybe he's got another 2 or 3 touchdowns. Maybe he's got another couple 100 yards because he threw into a double coverage situation that was 50 yards downfield. So, could you say that his rookie season is wasted because he put up those kind of stats and he's not in the postseason? Yes, I would 100% agree with that. You could, if you look at it from that angle, I would say that that is pretty accurate. He is not looking at a postseason game in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately. Which again, a rookie that's putting up those kinds of numbers typically do get into the postseason. I mean, Bo Nix is probably going to be in the postseason. Jayden Daniels is going to be in the postseason. So, I mean, really, yeah. Do I agree with parts of it being a wasted rookie season because of if you're looking at it from that angle? Yes, I agree. However, what I brought up specifically Jay Cutler and Peyton Manning because those are some of the best. One is the best season we've ever seen from a Bears quarterback, and the other one is a guy who went on to be a Hall of Famer. So, can you say that Caleb Williams is a bust and or wasted talent because of the Bears' record right now? I can't say that he is. I think that um, usually year two is when a lot of people really start evaluating rookie quarterbacks coming off of their rookie year into year two and how they develop. Now that everybody's got a year worth of tape on him, everybody's got a sense of the kind of game style that he plays. Everybody knows what their snap counts are, things like that. So really, people start evaluating quarterbacks year two after the draft, and I think that it's fair to do so. I don't think that it's fair to outright dismiss a quarterback off of 1 year's worth of play. Because again, like I said, if you compare Caleb Williams to Peyton Manning, other than the sack number, he's on pace to have a better rookie season than Peyton Manning outside of touchdowns. And that would be the only stat that Peyton Manning has him beat in a rookie year if Caleb plays the way that he has been playing the last two games and he doesn't really suffer. If he sits anywhere between 280 and 320 yards the last two games of the year, he will have a better year than Peyton Manning other than touchdowns. Again, Peyton Manning is a Hall of Famer. And again, he's on pace not to beat Jay Cutler when it comes in terms of touchdowns, but he's just under 600 yards of beating the Bears quarterback record, and that is all time for a Bears quarterback. He won't get there for the touchdowns, but he will certainly beat it for the interceptions. Again, these are quarterbacks that everybody viewed with respect and viewed as a great quarter, either a good or a great quarterback. I don't know if you would consider Jay Cutler great. I guess you could say that he was great because of the system that he was in with the Bears. So, he was kind of the muscle on the offense back in the day. But really, um, I just kind of wanted to see, like, I wanted to read the stats kind of out loud and just kind of see where Caleb is actually stacking up compared to these other quarterbacks. And again, I say that Caleb Williams is in a better position because one, the Bears had the opportunity to really, really open up and fix their offensive line, which could completely change Caleb Williams as a quarterback. I'm not saying that it will, but it can. Whereas in Bo Nick's situation and Jay Daniels' situation, they already have a really good offensive line, so not a lot changes there. And then everyone has a year of film on top of that, right? To where even though everyone has a year of film on Caleb Williams, he could potentially have a much upgraded offensive line, which could help even have a better year too. And we all know that the Bears are looking at a new head coach, probably new offensive and defensive coordinators. Um, so to a degree, that could be a bad thing because you gotta basically tear it down and do it again, all over again for a now third time with Caleb Williams. Because let's not forget that the Bears did fire their head coach Matt Eberflus and their offensive coordinator in the same season. So Caleb Williams is already on offensive coordinator and head coach number two. Right. Well, actually, offensive coordinator number three, since Thomas Brown got promoted to interim HC. But if you have a really, really good offensive minded head coach instead of a defensive minded head coach, you could potentially take Caleb Williams to the next level. Usually, when you take a rookie quarterback and you pair him with a new head coach and offensive coordinator year two, it typically doesn't end up well. But I believe that Caleb Williams has enough raw talent to really expand on in year two. But really, Bears fans, I like I said, I spoke about this in my live. I did kind of go over a couple of stats, but I wanted to do just a more extensive portion on Caleb Williams, since in that live stream we went over, the keys to the game and injury report like we usually do during the week. So it was kind of an all-in-one type of thing. So I just wanted to really break down Caleb Williams and see where he really stacks up compared to the other rookie quarterbacks in his class, compared to one of the greatest of all time, one of the best Bears quarterbacks that we've ever had. So, Bears fans, with that, why don't you tell me your opinions down below? How do you feel like Caleb Williams has performed year one, given the offensive line struggles? How do you feel like he could fare in year two? And also, not being able to make the postseason with how Caleb Williams has performed pretty much all year, do you think that his year one has been wasted? You let me know your comments down below, my friends. And as always, bear down, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.